How to Learn English. Alex gazed at the English novel, understanding every complex sentence, yet a profound silence clung to their lips. The words danced beautifully on the page, but when it came to uttering a simple phrase, an invisible barrier materialized. This common struggle plagued many aspiring learners, a frustrating chasm between comprehension and confident articulation. It felt like a perpetual linguistic paradox. For years, Alex had diligently studied grammar rules, memorized endless vocabulary lists, and completed countless exercises. The results were undeniable: academic tests were aced, articles understood effortlessly. However, the goal of fluid conversation remained elusive. Public speaking in English seemed an insurmountable mountain, an intimidating peak shrouded in a thick fog of self-doubt. "I understand English perfectly, but I simply cannot speak well," Alex often lamented to friends. This was the universal cry of the advanced beginner, trapped in a comprehension-only purgatory. The frustration was immense, bordering on despair. Many questioned if fluency was merely an unattainable dream, reserved for a select few with innate linguistic talent. One day, a chance encounter with an old university professor, a renowned linguist, offered a new perspective. Professor Anya smiled knowingly, having witnessed this exact dilemma countless times. She spoke of immersion, not just in theory, but in the practical, daily rhythms of the language. Her advice was deceptively simple, yet profoundly transformative. How to learn English, Anya began, is not about accumulating facts, but about building intuition. She emphasized that real communication flows from a deeply internalized sense of the language, not from conscious rule application. This shifted Alex's entire paradigm, moving beyond rote memorization towards a more organic acquisition process. Anya stressed the paramount importance of reading. Why reading is important, she explained, is because it exposes you to natural language patterns in context. Unlike isolated word lists, narratives demonstrate how words interact, how sentences are structured, and how ideas are conveyed effectively. It's like absorbing the language through osmosis. Alex, initially skeptical, began devouring English novels, not for conscious study, but for sheer pleasure. This enjoyable immersion slowly began to dissolve the mental blocks. The stories captivated, and unconsciously, patterns of grammar and vocabulary started embedding themselves within Alex's mind, making the learning process feel less like work. The professor also demystified how to learn words. She advised against isolated flashcards for common vocabulary. Instead, she urged Alex to focus on learning words within sentences, understanding their nuances from surrounding text. Context, she insisted, was the ultimate memory aid, making new words stick far more effectively and permanently. Whenever a new word appeared, Alex would note its sentence, trying to infer its meaning first, then confirming with a dictionary. This active engagement with vocabulary made the learning process dynamic and memorable. It was no longer about brute force memorization but about building a rich tapestry of interconnected linguistic knowledge organically. Anya also gently touched upon a sensitive point. Why you should not learn English, she said, is if your motivation is purely external or fleeting. True fluency, she explained, demands intrinsic desire and unwavering commitment, not just a passing fancy or obligation. Without genuine passion, the journey often becomes arduous and ultimately abandoned. Alex reflected on past motivations, realizing some had indeed been superficial. Now, the desire to truly express complex thoughts and connect with others fueled a deeper, more resilient drive. This introspection solidified Alex's commitment, transforming learning from a chore into a passionate pursuit, a deeply personal and rewarding endeavor. The biggest hurdle remained speaking. "I understand English but I can't speak well," echoed in Alex's mind. Anya's next piece of advice tackled this head-on: how people speak English is not always grammatically perfect, but it is fluent and communicative. Perfection was not the goal, effective communication was. Anya encouraged Alex to embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. "Fluency isn't about avoiding errors," she stated, "it's about the ability to keep communicating despite them." This liberating perspective reduced the immense pressure Alex had felt to speak flawlessly, fostering a more relaxed and experimental approach to conversation. The professor introduced a simple yet powerful technique: talk in English just 1 page per day. This meant taking any English text, a newspaper article, a book page, or even a recipe, and reading it aloud, then paraphrasing its content, summarizing, or discussing its implications in spoken English. This daily ritual became Alex's speaking gym. Initially awkward and hesitant, speaking aloud gradually built muscle memory in Alex's mouth and mind. The goal was not perfection, but consistent, active production of language. It broke the mental barrier, transforming passive understanding into active verbalization, brick by painstaking brick. Concurrently, Anya stressed the critical role of listening. "Listen and practice," she urged. Engaging with authentic English audio, podcasts, documentaries, interviews, improved comprehension speed and natural intonation. It exposed Alex to the rhythm and flow of native speech, which is often very different from textbook dialogues. Alex started listening to English podcasts during commutes, at the gym, and while doing chores. This constant auditory exposure immersed Alex in the soundscape of English, improving pronunciation and accent. It was like building an internal library of how real English sounds, aiding in both comprehension and speech production. The combination of extensive reading, active word learning, daily speaking practice, and dedicated listening created a synergistic effect. Each component reinforced the others, accelerating Alex's progress in ways traditional methods never could. It was a holistic approach to mastering the complex tapestry of the English language. Slowly, subtly, the transformation began. Alex found that words and phrases that were once understood but unreachable in speech now flowed more readily. Hesitations lessened, and conversations extended beyond simple greetings, venturing into more complex topics with increasing ease and confidence, a truly encouraging development. "How to improve your fluency," Anya had said, "is by constantly pushing your comfort zone, but gently." This meant not shying away from opportunities to speak, even when intimidated. Every interaction, every small conversation, was a chance to practice and refine, a precious opportunity for growth. Alex sought out English-speaking meetups, joined online discussion groups, and even started conversing with tourists in the city. The fear of making mistakes diminished with each successful exchange. The more Alex spoke, the more natural and automatic the process became, reducing the mental effort required significantly. The one page per day technique evolved. Instead of just summarizing, Alex would now debate the points, express personal opinions, or even improvise short narratives based on the text. This creative application of language further solidified fluency and expanded expressive capabilities beyond mere recitation or factual recall. Reading became even more strategic. Alex diversified reading materials, from fiction to non-fiction, scientific articles to poetry. This broadened vocabulary across different domains and exposed Alex to a wider range of writing styles and linguistic registers, making communication versatile and adaptable to various situations. New words were no longer just definitions, they were tools to articulate specific thoughts. Alex started consciously experimenting with new vocabulary in conversations, pushing boundaries. This active application cemented new words into the working lexicon, transforming passive knowledge into active, usable linguistic assets. The listening practice deepened too. Alex moved from general podcasts to more specific topics of interest, absorbing nuanced language related to hobbies and professions. This allowed for deeper comprehension and the acquisition of specialized vocabulary, essential for more sophisticated and meaningful interactions. The initial despondency of, "I understand English but I can't speak well," was slowly replaced by a burgeoning sense of capability. The gap between understanding and speaking narrowed, then closed. Alex realized that fluency wasn't an endpoint, but a continuous journey of growth and refinement, an ongoing adventure. The process highlighted that, how people speak English is incredibly diverse, encompassing various accents, dialects, and speaking styles. Alex learned to appreciate this rich tapestry, realizing that perfect imitation was unnecessary. Authenticity and clear communication were far more valuable than strict adherence to a single accent. This understanding fostered a greater sense of self-acceptance. Alex stopped comparing personal speech to that of native speakers, focusing instead on personal progress and effective communication. This shift in mindset was liberating, reducing anxiety and allowing for more spontaneous and joyful expression. The initial thought of, "why you should not learn English," now seemed absurd. The benefits were overwhelmingly clear: new friendships, professional opportunities, and access to a vast world of knowledge and culture. The challenges faded into insignificance compared to the profound rewards of linguistic mastery. Alex's confidence soared. Conversations that once felt like arduous mental gymnastics now felt like natural, flowing exchanges. The struggle to retrieve words diminished, replaced by an intuitive command of language. It was a remarkable transformation, a testament to consistent and smart effort, day after day. The story of Alex became an inspiration to others struggling with similar issues. Many who had felt trapped in the "understand but can't speak" dilemma found hope in Alex's journey. It demonstrated that overcoming this common barrier was not only possible but achievable through dedicated, strategic practice. Alex continued to emphasize the core tenets of the professor's advice: the critical role of reading, the importance of contextual vocabulary acquisition, and the necessity of constant, active speaking practice. These were the pillars upon which true fluency was built, solid and unyielding foundations. Learn English, Alex would tell newcomers, not just through textbooks, but through life. Engaging with the language in real-world scenarios, whether through media, conversation, or travel, accelerated the learning process far beyond classroom confines, making it vibrant and relevant. The advice, how to improve your fluency, was always centered on consistent output. It wasn't about cramming, but about daily, manageable engagement. Small, consistent steps led to massive cumulative gains over time, like the steady growth of a mighty oak tree from a tiny acorn. The principle of, talk in English just 1 page per day, became a mantra. It was the achievable daily goal that prevented overwhelm and maintained momentum. Breaking down the enormous task of fluency into tiny, actionable steps made the entire journey feel less daunting and more sustainable. And, listen and practice, remained non-negotiable. Active listening, not just passive hearing, trained the ear and the mind to recognize the intricate patterns of spoken English. Practicing what was heard, through shadowing or repetition, cemented those patterns into Alex's own speech repertoire. Alex's journey underscored that fluency is not just about vocabulary and grammar, it's about the ability to think directly in English, minimizing translation. This mental shift was a significant milestone, allowing for more spontaneous and natural conversation, unburdened by the need to translate every thought. This ability to think in English emerged naturally from sustained reading and listening exposure. The brain began to associate concepts directly with English words, bypassing the native language intermediary. It was a profound cognitive rewiring, a testament to the brain's incredible adaptability and learning capacity. The early frustrations seemed distant memories now, replaced by the joy of effortless communication. The world of English literature, film, and global conversations opened up fully, offering endless opportunities for connection and personal growth, truly enriching Alex's life in myriad unforeseen ways. Alex often reflected on the initial fear and the overwhelming feeling of inadequacy. It was a testament to perseverance and the power of breaking down a colossal goal into manageable, daily actions. Each small victory accumulated, building momentum towards the ultimate achievement of eloquent expression. The path to fluency was rarely linear. There were plateaus, moments of doubt, and occasional regression. But understanding that these were normal parts of the learning curve prevented discouragement from becoming defeat, allowing Alex to push through temporary setbacks with renewed determination. Alex learned to celebrate small victories, a successful phone call in English, a joke understood and reciprocated, a complex idea articulated clearly. These milestones provided essential motivation, reinforcing the belief that progress was indeed happening, even when it felt slow or imperceptible. The journey also revealed the beauty of different English accents. Instead of feeling intimidated by them, Alex found delight in their diversity, realizing that English was a global language, owned by no single group, but shared and shaped by countless cultures worldwide. This broader perspective enhanced Alex's ability to communicate with people from various backgrounds, making interactions richer and more meaningful. It transcended linguistic barriers, fostering a sense of global connection and understanding, which was an unexpected but welcome bonus. The fear of judgment, once a crippling barrier, gradually dissipated. Alex realized that most native speakers were appreciative of the effort, not critical of minor imperfections. This empathy from others created a supportive environment conducive to more fearless and open communication. Alex started giving advice to others based on personal experience, focusing on the practical, actionable steps that yielded real results. The key message was always consistency and a shift from passive consumption to active production of the language in every possible way. The advice, why reading is important, was always emphasized, as it built the foundational understanding of sentence structures and extensive vocabulary, silently and effectively. It was the silent engine driving much of the overall linguistic improvement, often underestimated by beginners. How to learn words, through context, rather than isolated lists, was another crucial piece of wisdom shared. This method fostered deeper comprehension and retention, making words part of a meaningful linguistic ecosystem, rather than mere data points in a lexicon. And for those who understood but couldn't speak, the consistent message was, start talking, even if it's just to yourself, even if it's just 1 page per day. Production was the missing link, the bridge between comprehension and confident articulation. The power of listen and practice was also continually highlighted. Immerse yourself in authentic English sounds, and then actively try to replicate them. This dual approach honed both receptive and productive skills simultaneously, creating a powerful feedback loop for rapid progress. Alex's story became a testament to the idea that learning English, or any language, is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to embrace the learning process with all its challenges and triumphs, enjoying every step of the way. The initial desire to learn English had evolved into a profound love for the language itself and the opportunities it unlocked. It was no longer just a skill, but a gateway to new experiences, new friendships, and a richer understanding of the world, truly transformative. So, if you're struggling, remember Alex. Remember the power of daily reading, contextual vocabulary, consistent listening, and, most importantly, the courage to talk in English just 1 page per day, transforming silent understanding into vibrant, confident speech. Your English voice is waiting to be heard. It just needs consistent, gentle encouragement and focused practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, they are signposts on the road to mastery, guiding your journey forward with invaluable lessons and insights. Embrace the process, celebrate the small victories, and watch as your ability to communicate flourishes beyond your wildest dreams. The journey is truly rewarding, leading not just to fluency, but to a newfound confidence that permeates every aspect of your life.